Hello. Welcome to ReliableInformationSystems.TV.
Hello.
Nice to see you all.
Hey. What's our topic today?
Our topic today is software productization, testing, and costs, and about Britney Spears.
Britney? I love her. She is so cool.
Oops. I hate her.
What do you like about Britney Spears? Why is she relevant for us here?
It is about her song, I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman. It can be painful to realize not being a girl anymore, but not a real woman yet. In other words, begin in a transition phase or in an in-between situation.
How can a software company be in an in-between situation?
There are software companies which outgrew the garage and startup mode, without being a big global software company yet. But let's look on the extreme company models first. Then, we can elaborate the specifics of in-between software companies. First, there are companies selling software development projects. They develop a software solution exclusively for a dedicated customer. The customer decides about the features. The customer pays for all development and testing efforts.
Many small software development companies work like that. Also, bigger companies follow this model if they develop software for big corporations or for governmental institutions with unique needs.
Good point. Besides the software development project companies, there are the big companies such as Google and Microsoft.
They have a massive customer base.
They can afford to spend much on testing. They hire good testers and invest into automation.
And they have a high margin due to economies of scale.
The third group consists of the in-between companies. Neither did they sell a software to only one customer, nor do they have hundreds, thousands, or millions of customers. They have a few. 5, 10, 20. They are in the B2B business and provide solutions for niche markets. Do you have any ideas for such software?
Software for managing campgrounds.
Or software for organizing car races.
Think about such a software company. They start with 1 or 2 customers. If their software meets the needs of their niche market, the customer base grows to 10 or 20. A big success. Now think about the expectations of the software company's CEO, and of the customers.
The CEO wants to benefit from economies of scale. His equation is simple. New customers equals to more license fees with no or minimal extra costs.
This conflicts with the expectations of the customers. They perceived the software as standard software, reliable and affordable. They want to benefit from economies of scale as well, and expect low license fees.
The tragedy is, the reality is different for most vendors. There are only economies of scale, if the software is managed appropriately, regarding sales and IT architecture. A common misunderstanding is to believe that the same product is sold to all customers. I want to use an extreme model of a car manufacturer for illustration purposes. For example, 5 customers buy all the same red Roadster. Is this a realistic model for a software niche market?
No. Often, new customers want or need new features. Since each customer is highly welcome, the software company develops a new release to deliver the additional features.
So, let's adapt our picture with the red sports cars. You sell your first Roadster to your first customer. Let's assume that 2 potential customers see the Roadster. They like the design. They want to buy such a car. But only if you add some new features, you agree happily. In the contracts, you promise to deliver the new Roadster version in 14 months. Things get even better. Firefighters need a new truck. You get the contract. You develop the truck based on the original Roadster within 4 months. Another client wants a moped. You finish the development within a month. Then, you deliver the truck and the moped to your clients. Finally, you deliver the new Roadster as well. New cars and new software have something in common. Any ideas?
There is always something to fix.
Exactly. So the new Roadster is not as perfect as everyone thought. You have to fix it. Sounds familiar? Caused such a situation by yourself in the past?
Maybe?
1 year later, the management decides to build an even better roadster. All current customers run to a car dealer. They want to see, and buy, the new model. What is the difference between a new roadster model and a new software version?
A new roadster model means big business for car manufacturers. If customers want the newest model, they have to buy a new car.
In contrast, software customers expect the vendor to provide an upgrade path. It depends on the maintenance contract, whether the vendor gets money for this service, and how much.
All customers have installed and run different software versions. But what is the issue? As a software vendor, I provide one installation script. Then, I am done. One script, 5 customers. I have economies of scale and a big margin.
Your assumption is incorrect for most business applications. Many business applications contain a database. They store important data. A bank cannot delete the account balances or alt bookings if they upgrade their software.
So if software releases differ with respect to the data model or the database schema, I need a dedicated upgrade script.
Programming upgrade scripts might not need much time, but the testing might require a lot of effort. Thus, it is expensive. Just testing the upgrade scripts is not sufficient. The vendor must test for each upgrade script with realistic test data. First, did no data items get lost? Second, are all data items semantically unchanged? Third, do all software features work with the upgraded data?
In short, the concept of economies of scale does not work for upgrades. That applies also to bug fixes if they have to be developed and tested for all releases individually.
But why do companies ruin their opportunity for economies of scale?
Well, nobody decides that she does not want to have economies of scale. This happens. You get a new customer. He pays license fees. He pays for a project to implement new features. You sell the product to 5 or 10 customers. You believe you have a product now, and you celebrate. Everything is perfect. 1 year later, you realize you have 10 installations with similar, but different features and code.
Hello, I am late. Sorry. What did I miss today?
Today, we talked about companies having sold a software product to a few customers, maybe 5, maybe 20. This happens quickly for successful niche products. The management of the software vendor tends to assume, wrongly, that all customers run the same piece of code. In reality, most customers run slightly different software versions.
This works financially well in a project phase. However, in the maintenance phase, costs for bug fixes and upgrades are linear with the number of different versions installed at customer sites. Under such circumstances, there might be no economies of scale. Often, companies are busy during the initial growth phase. They have to fulfill the requirements of the new customers. Only later they notice they failed in making one product out of 10 projects.
Nice. But how does this relate to testing?
Good question. No idea.
I understand your point. You are correct. Testers cannot prevent such issues. It is the task of the management, software architects, and sales to manage the product. If situations appear with many different versions being installed by customers, the management of the software vendor has to give one task to their software architect. Reduce the number of versions.
So, testers don't have to do anything?
Well, they should calculate costs for executing all necessary tests. If there are 5 different software versions installed by customers, this requires testing the upgrade for each of the 5 versions. They should propose automation strategies to reduce testing efforts. Plus they should make the consequences of management decisions transparent.
So if the managers cannot or do not want to pay for all necessary tests, the test manager should ensure the managers understand the risks they are accepting?
So you propose a cover my ass strategy for testers in case of in-between applications?
That's an oversimplification. Testers have the duty to inform their managers how test coverage and test costs correlate for a given application. Finally, before we come to an end, I want to point out again, Just selling the same or similar software to various customers is no guarantee for economies of scale. Economies of scale require that the vendor has a sustainable product management. It must balance two needs. First, the short-term needs of customer projects and, second, the long-term vision of having only one, single code base.
Brilliant. Really cool.